Welcome to Going Deeper. Steve Arterburn here, and I hope I've got something for you, or maybe someone you know or you love. Now I got to tell you, today I went in to see my psychiatrist. What? I have a psychiatrist? Yes. I've had a psychiatrist for years because I've always wanted to get the best attention deficit disorder medication that I could have, and I've always had one, and so he prescribes it, not a general practitioner. So I went in to talk with him today because you have to go in every 6 months and they give you the written scripts and you have to drive them over to the pharmacy, all that stuff. And the guy said to me, the psychiatrist, he said, "I've never been so busy. We've never had so many people with anxiety issues." And of course, if you're going to a psychiatrist, most of the people, it's not ADD medication, it's a lot of other things. And so it really just affirmed and confirmed what we believe here. This is not easy for a lot of people. So if you're struggling, you're not alone. And I want to say this. Isolation, aloneness, and loneliness are all so destructive. And so no matter how difficult it is, somehow you've got to get the right program. You got to get the right people helping you, the right friends. Maybe it's a therapist, maybe it's a recovery group. But this crisis isn't going away, and you just get worn down. So whatever you need to do, do it. I'm all for it. I want to see something good happen in your life, okay? So today we're going to talk about the certifiably healthy bonus parent. I don't like step parent. This came from, as many of you know, this came out of a conversation I had when I married Misty. And I said to her boys, I really don't want to be a stepdad. You have a dad, and being a stepdad, well, it sounds like you're going to step on me. And so I want to be a bonus. I want to be something extra in your life, a benefit. And of course I knew that oftentimes blending a family doesn't go well. So I want to talk to you about the certifiable healthy bonus parent. Here's what that parent does. Number one, you go into this earning respect rather than creating disrespect by demanding respect. I have seen so many people, adults, do this childish thing, saying to the person that they're going to marry, or once they are married, "Hey, your kids better respect me because I deserve it, and you better make sure they do." What a horrible thing. You shouldn't be marrying a person like that, because they're probably thinking that about you, that you should be respecting them like that. So that's not the way to do this. You go in it knowing all of the problems that come about with a blended family. First of all, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but they're going to see you, no matter how long it's been, they're going to see you as the reason that the mom and dad didn't get back together. They might be thinking, it might be 10 years, and it still could be an issue, is what I'm saying. Not necessarily, but it could be. So you got all that there, and then you walk in and demand respect. Horrible thing to do. Earn the respect of those kids by respecting them, by wanting to be something more than an assignment or a duty or an obligation. Okay, now we know that they see this as a hostile takeover or a hostage situation sometimes, so let's go out to earn respect. Second thing is take on the role of benevolent aunt or benevolent uncle rather than proclaiming your authority. One of the things that I did, we established, I had a daughter, Misty had 2 boys, and we established that I would be the primary disciplinarian for my daughter, and she would be the disciplinarian for her boys. They had been together. They had a relationship a long time. For me to step in and all of a sudden I'm starting to discipline them, no. I hadn't earned the right nor the respect. And I remember the day when we felt like I had. And then I did do something. I did implement some consequences, and they were followed. Okay, number 3. You want to support the birth parent in correction rather than assert yourself in your way of disciplining these kids. What a horrible thing if they're used to being disciplined one way, and then you come in and now it's tougher or harder, and they see you as this evil force in their life to make life worse. But how great if you're just supporting your spouse in the disciplining of the kids. You're there for support, not there to demand or get revenge or whatever it is. 4th thing, listen to hear and know rather than talk to be heard. Oh my goodness. If you do these monologues and you do these long dissertations to them, come on, don't do that. Listen to them. Look them in the eye. Let them know you care. You want to learn about them. You want to hear what they're going through. That's the important thing. And it will come back 18-fold to benefit you greatly that you've taken that kind of time to do the work you need to do. So, we need to listen. And we just don't need to be so fascinated with ourselves and fascinated with our stories that we're not listening to them. Okay, number 5. Discuss and process the natural tendency to favor your biological child rather than be just blindly unfair. You've been with your children for a long time. You are more protective of your children. And it's just natural that you're going to try to do some things that are going to be better for them than the other kids. And you've got to go against that, and you want to free each other to say, hey, I don't know that that's really fair. It's not fair that we're going to get your child a car to take to the university, but our child is going to get a bicycle to take to the university. No. So we have to talk about this, that this is going to be a tendency to not be fair because we're human. So let's help each other to be fair, because that's going to help our kids be more secure. They're going to be happier, and when they're happier and healthy, we're going to feel better about each other. Okay, you want to build trust with the kids rather than rule with fear and shame. There's a wonderful book called The Anatomy of Peace. And it talks about when we are at peace in our own heart, we're probably not going to go to war with a 6-year-old. But when we are warring with ourselves, when we're betraying ourselves at the heart level, then we're going to go to battle with a 6-year-old kid. So what we have to do is to be a facilitator of peace and joy for the other person. And that's not going to happen by constantly badgering, criticizing, cajoling, all the things that maybe come natural to us. So we want to build a peaceful home where serenity reigns, and we want to do that by having a heart that's at peace. If you're angry at your previous spouse, if you feel shame, bitterness, if you're afraid, all those kinds of things cause you to war within yourself, betray yourself, and then now you want to go to war with the kids. We've got to stop that. Now, we want to build connection. That's our primary goal. When you are getting married and you're going to have these new kids, connection is the goal. That's it. It's not respect, it's not love, it's connection. We don't want just obedience and good behavior as the number one priority. Because sometimes, if I don't have a connection, then if I go and discipline, there's going to be a disconnection. If I want a relationship, but there's no connection, then there's going to be a rebellion rather than a relationship. So my goal is connecting with these kids. I remember when I was helping Carter and he got hurt and he was crying and I was holding him and he says, "You're just helping me just like my dad does." We had a connection there. And you know, I said to them, "You got a good dad. I don't want to replace your dad." And I always found ways to honor that dad. Now we want to build connection. That's our primary goal. Number 8 is we want to desire to display compassionate love rather than fight for control. Compassion or control? Are you going to be a big shot because you've got control of these teenagers or elementary school kids? No, it's not going to help you. You don't want to control. You want to be compassionate toward them, understand them, and then now you're causing them to want to understand and connect with you. What a great thing that is. So we want to display compassionate love, where we really do get that this isn't exactly easy for them, and we love them. Okay, number 9, seeking God's truth and direction. Now that's our goal. Seeking God's truth and direction rather than allowing my feelings to dictate my action. So if I'm in reactive mode, feelings are everything. And what I feel, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rage, I'm going to rant, I'm going to shame, blame, all or walk out. That's when the feelings are in control. But when I have settled my heart, now I'm seeking truth and direction from God to be the foundation of my actions, and feelings aren't the most important thing. Your feelings have a point, but they're not the point. Truth, God's love, those are the points. Those are the main priorities. And then finally, number 10, humbling down to admit mistakes and make amends rather than always needing to be right and look perfect. You know, so many people are afraid to admit a mistake because the child might disrespect them. Just the opposite. You humble down, you admit you handled something a little too rough, or you didn't use your good judgment, didn't talk to the other spouse, whatever it is. That brings security to that child. They know you're going to self-correct. They know they don't have to correct you. They know you're not blind when you do make a mistake because they do see the mistake. They know you messed up. So we have to humble down, admit the mistake, and make it right. You know, this is the way we ought to be going through life anyway with everybody, is trying to make things right. Now, I've bragged a little bit that this is an area of my life that's worked. And I've said that I've messed up and confessed messing up so many times, I get to brag a little bit. Well, I'm not really bragging, but I want to tell you the end result of all this is we have 5 kids. And whether it's Madeline that I brought in, Carter or James that she brought in, or Solomon and Amelia that we had together, they love each other and they do stuff. They put into each other's life. Just the other day, Carter bought for Solomon a video game that he absolutely loves. We have a saying in our house that we show up for each other. So the kids, Solomon and Amelia might have something, a play, a track meet or something. Many times, James and or Carter will drive up from Bloomington, an hour and a half away where they're going to school, and be there. Because we have this motto of we show up for each other. I think the kids are, I think they're happier, better adjusted than a lot of kids that aren't from a blended home. But it's because we followed, not just me, but we followed these things. But it all began, really, with the concept of I, Steve, want to be a bonus parent. I want to inspire Misty to be a bonus parent to my daughter. And that's what we've done. And we are experiencing the best days of raising our kids. Man, I hope that's helpful to you. Don't forget, Ron Deal's got some great step parenting material at Family Life Today. Call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need some help, especially if you need some counseling or you need to clear up some stuff in the character development area. Not easy raising kids, not easy raising kids during the COVID-19 virus especially. Do the best you can. Stay connected, and I'll be talking tomorrow about some tricky stuff in being a step or a bonus parent. Call us if you need us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.